Hello everyone, welcome back to Bloodborne, picking right up from where we left off. I'm gonna go kill these because they usually drop blood vials, and it's a resource you don't want to be scarce. Look, this is, their parry window is just gargantuan. It's a little bit ridiculous how easy it is to parry these enemies. And they have a lot of health if you just try to beat them to death too. So it's almost as if those are your parry training enemies. Okay, so now we have dogs in cages. I'm gonna kill them because I believe they can get out. Oh, like that. And it's some free echoes. Oh my god. Miss, miss, miss. Up here we're gonna find an NPC that you can actually interact with and take places. What is that? I don't know if I can get over there. Hello.
You're a hunter, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, do you know of any safe places?
I will. It's kind of pointless to talk to her now. You eventually come to a chapel that's kind of a safe haven where you can collect, quote-unquote, NPCs to interact with. Hello. It's not the worst thing in the world to trade with an enemy like that if you get the parry, because you'll get your health back immediately on the after you visceral attack them. Up here we have a shortcut, which is good. I believe one of these, there's bodies hanging from ropes here. This is the second weapon you can get. It's called the Saw Spear. Its untricked form attacks just like this weapon, but when you trick it out like this, it becomes a spear instead of just kind of a long-range weapon. Its moveset's different, it's okay. But through here we come to a pretty important NPC. Irene.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights, here, to welcome the new hunter. Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about?
Yes.
What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts? No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
That would be an emote.
What are you still doing here?
She's getting annoyed now.
Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt. What are you...
So, if you didn't know about that hidden path through the barrels, if you didn't know about that second hidden path up to this area, you can completely miss this NPC, which is terrible because she gives you access to the highest damaging weapon in the game. Well, she gives you access to the highest DPS weapon in the game, which is damage per second. Now, in this game, DPS isn't everything because boss fights are mechanically different. So being able to do the most amount of damage over time isn't necessarily the most beneficial way to go about fighting a boss, because you might simply just lose through attrition using all your blood vials. But the weapons she gives are called the Blades of Mercy. It's two small daggers that can be tricked into one short sword. And they attack so fast and they take so little stamina that the damage on a single target that doesn't really attack back is the highest in the game. And it is a skill weapon, so it's not going to serve our purposes very well. Although they are very fun, and in PvP, they're amazing. Something interesting to note there, this is a beast, and he's clearly a beast, but he's humanoid, so this was once a man. The guy who was shooting at me over there, he is also turning into a beast, but he's not quite transformed yet, so you can visibly see that there are gradations of the transformation. And what's important about that is the men who haven't fully transformed into the beast yet, in the throes of losing their minds, think that you, as the player character, who is clearly human, are one of the beasts, and that's why they try to kill you, and they'll shout at you even. They'll say, "Back, beast," or something along those lines. And that's important because it means that the disease, the blood disease, whatever it is, allows you to maintain not only some form of cognizance, but it also alters your frame of mind. It doesn't just make you go insane, because you still maintain motor functions, but it makes you see things that aren't there, which is a huge element of this game's lore, is seeing things that aren't there. Ooh, I didn't think I was gonna get that parry, and I freaked out. I need to kill that guy. Ugh. Oh, there's two. Snipers are pretty harmless when you get right up in their faces. And they're a pretty reliable source of Quicksilver bullets. You can push up on the D-pad and give yourself an extra 5 bullets. You see in the top left, it sacrifices a 30 or health to do it, and the bullets, they only ever give you bullets in the +5 fashion, so the bullets they're not permanent, I guess is a way of putting it. And we need to go back in here and drop down to the other side to get the items that we dropped over here. I don't use this weapon untricked a lot by itself because it swings slower. It's got more range. Really, you just want to use it for the tricked forms. Actually, I'm not even too impressed with its moveset standalone. This is good because it's nice and quick, and the trick is good because it's ranged and it gives you more damage. But overall, I wouldn't see me playing through this entire game with just this weapon, even though there's, like I said earlier in previous episode, there's high replayability with regard to playing. You could play through the game with each individual weapon and it would feel fresh. I just don't know if I would have as much fun with this particular weapon, being that it's a starting weapon. So we're going to go over here. I think there's an item over there. And really getting the feel for your weapons is how you use them properly, like knowing the range is what you can do with them. And I like that style a lot more. I like the idea of replayability through varied movesets as opposed to replayability through the class system. In Dark Souls, pretty much all of them, you can play pretty much one of 3 ways. You can be a turtle, have heavy weapons, heavy armor, be slow, not be able to roll, or fat roll. You can be a dexterity build, which is quick and rolly, like Bloodborne is almost entirely, where you don't have a shield and you just rely on your dodges. And then the third way is you can be a magic user and cast spells, which makes you incredibly swishy, but you do high damage. In Bloodborne, there's no class system. The game is fundamentally different every time you use a different weapon. This pig can be kind of a bitch. If you don't run straight at him, he'll charge down the tunnel at you and instantly kill you. And you can stick your hand in his ass. Alright, we got Cold Blood Dew. And we get the Saw Hunter badge. Badge crafted long ago at the workshop attests to one's prowess as a hunter of beasts. The workshop is gone, and no group recognizes this meaningless badge, except the messengers in the bath, who understand its profundity. Certain things can only be entrusted with a hunter in possession of this badge, or so they believe. These badges you pick up essentially allow you to buy weapons at the Hunter's Dream, which are lorically tied to the badge. So this badge would allow you to buy the saw spear and another saw weapon. I can't remember. The sword hunter badge lets you buy... Oh, I can't remember. You can check the bath when you get each badge for new stuff. Old Hunter Bell, one of the resonating bells that cross the gap of worlds. This bell is cracked and stained with the blood of beasts. A human must expend insight to ring this uncanny bell. The old hunters, who have long passed from the dream but cannot forget the feeling of the hunt, rely upon messengers to relay their thoughts. Ring the bell at their side, and they are certain to give a listen, for the night of the hunt is long and unchanging. This was added with the DLC. This allows you to summon NPCs into boss fights with you, known as the Old Hunters. They're pretty cool. They're strong. You end up fighting a lot of them in the DLC. I'm gonna try to kill this boss with 18 blood vials. I should be able to, but he can combo you to death. This is one of those bosses where if he starts to get a run on you, you're kind of fucked. If you had gone the regular way down this bridge, that rolling ball, and there's a bunch of enemies on the bridge there, it would have been a little bit of a bitch to get past. Not so much though. And here we have two beasts looking at something. Blood vial. Blood vial. What were you looking at? Bold Hunter's Mark. Dangling upside down rune etched to the mind of the hunter. The image upon the parchment allows one to envision the rune with clarity. Allows a hunter to awaken again without losing blood echoes, a trick that seemed nearly too good to be true. So this is a homeward bone, and you mostly only want to use them for boss fights that you know you can't win. If you're gonna lose, you run to a corner and pray that the animation ends and lets you teleport to the lamppost before the boss runs over and smacks your face in. So we want the music box on. So this is Gascoigne. This is the little girl's father. He is a hunter for the Healing Church. However, after doing so much hunting and drinking blood and generally losing his mind, he's becoming a beast, and he's...
Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
So he starts off in human form. He has the blunderbuss. He can be parried. Sometimes the parry window is finicky with this form. I got him there. If you're low damage like I am, you're gonna want to parry him. See, I could have sworn I got the parry just now. And now he's going to go to phase 2 where he tricks his weapon, because he's actually using a weapon you can get. It's the strength starting weapon. That's the one you want. Got another visceral on him. He should be transforming into phase 2 or phase 3 here in a second. Got him again. So let's use the music box. And the bad thing is he's behind a rock now. Ooh, we got him with it. I don't usually get away with that. Oh, so he's dead. That was an incredibly smooth run of this boss for me. I usually, when I use the music box, he's got his ass up against one of these gravestones, so I can't get the backstab on him, so I can just get generic damage. And also, he transformed into his beast form super late. Generally, he does it at about half HP. I had him down to about 25% HP, which was fantastic. That might have been the smoothest run of that boss I think I've ever had. Awesome. So, you come over here and we find the red jeweled brooch. So this is the girl's mother. One thing these games do is item placements and enemy placements are also lorically appropriate insofar as the enemies aren't just... Okay, some of them are just around and it's annoying, but most of the time an enemy or a body will be in a place that's important. So before we came into this fight, there was two beasts staring at the bold hunter's mark that we found. Well, that's important because those men used to be hunters, assumedly, and maybe they were longing for going back to the hunter's dream, to the lamp, but they can't figure it out now because they're beasts. It's little things like that, little tiny implications that you have to pick up on that really add immersion to the game. It's an immersive experience if you open your eyes. If you're an unobservant player, it doesn't matter much. You can just run through the game killing things and have a great time. But there have been entire video series, you can find them on YouTube, by Epic Name Bro, Vati Vidya, who do just in-depth, hour-long assessments of certain plot devices. They analyze everything, like the coffins that are chained up, the statues, the artwork, the layout of the city, just all kinds of things. And it is speculation on their part, but most of the time it fits. It elegantly fits. It adds a lot of immersion. That's why these games are fantastic. And then, like I said in the first episode, Bloodborne's plotline is very much... It's much less ambiguous than Dark Souls. The Bergenworth spider hides all manner of rituals and keeps our lost master from us. A terrible shame. It makes my head shudder uncontrollably. So Bergenworth, we'll find out in a little bit, was a scholar, much like it's like a college, a bunch of learned men, and they discovered a cave system beneath Yarnum, a vast cave system, and in this cave system they found an item, and this item allowed them to do blood magic and turn blood into healing stuff. And from Bergenworth and from this discovery, the Healing Church was formed as a separate entity, and the Healing Church uses the blood religiously, and they call it blood ministration. But the Bergenworth scholars weren't interested in the blood. They were interested in the other treasures, and later on you find out why, what they were actually doing down there, what they were actually looking for. It had more to do with the old ones and the eldritch horrors than with just the blood and using it to gain power. So this is the Cathedral Ward. This is where you can send NPCs to be safe. There's a man over here. I'll give him a chat.
Oh, you must be a hunter. Very sorry. The incense must have masked your scent. Good, good. I've been waiting for one of your ilk. These hunts have everyone all locked up inside, waiting for it to end. It always does. Always
Let's get a look at him.
You know.
God, he's terrifying.
Forever. But it won't end nicely.
But he's nice.
Not this time. Even some folks hiding inside are going bad. The screams of women folk, the stench of blood, the snarls of beasts. None of them's too uncommon now. Yarnum's done for, tell ya. But if you spot anyone with their wits about them, tell them about this here Erden Chapel. They'll be safe here. The incense wards off the beasts. Spread the word. Tell them to come on over. If you wouldn't mind.
See, he sounds shady as all hell, but he doesn't ever hurt anybody that you send here. He's just literally a very antisocial, creepy, transforming human.
I know I shouldn't be asking you, but if you happen upon someone while hunting, tell them about this here Erdon Chapel. If they seem worth being told, that is. Oh, and I do sincerely hope they are. I know I shouldn't be. If they see. Oh, and I do.
Alright, that seems like a good place to call it quits. Thanks for watching. In the next episode, we're going to explore the Cathedral Ward area. We need to kill one more boss, who is to the left here. That's the path we're going to take. One more boss to... Actually, you don't even need to kill the boss. You just need to get... Oh, no, yeah, you do, because killing the boss opens this door. Yes, so we need to kill the boss, and hopefully we'll get there by the end of the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.